So for us, and for me in particular, it's been a very interesting experience because I spent close to 40 years now in this sector, but at the tertiary level. I was in the university for some time, for close to 20 years, before I became the teacher of the law school. And then I was vice chancellor of a private university. So I've been there at that senior level. And I've had a lot of, complaints and observations from people about the pre-university, pre-tertiary level. But I didn't know things actually have been that bad until I came here. Because you have a lot of people at this level who cannot read well, who cannot understand what they are reading. And I know I've come across quite a number of people at the tertiary level. But somehow there's a lot of filtration that happens before they go to the university. So, but at this stage, that's where you now come into grip with the reality on ground. And problems about teachers, lack of teachers, problem with their lack of training, problems with their welfare, and problems with the professional development of teachers. They are simply not what we should be having. Particularly the professional development of teachers is almost non-existent, which is very, very bad for this sector. Also have issues about, the skilling the sector. The years past, at the time we attended schools, we had what was called a comprehensive school, where people have some element of skills by the time they finish secondary school. It was quite integrated. There were areas on general education, there were areas on skills, trade, commerce. Now that we don't have that here at this time. And then, even equally importantly, there's things that we don't even know how many teachers we have in the country, how many enrollment figures, in all those schools. We don't have the numbers, so everybody's guessing. It makes it very difficult for planning if you don't know the number of people in primary school across the country, secondary school, all the levels. Maybe at the tertiary level you can have the figures, generally speaking, from AUC. But at that lower level we don't have that figure. It's not good for planning. And we don't know how many girls are in school, how many boys are in school, the ratio, the staff to student ratio, we don't know. And so these are all sorts of challenges which I have seen and which we are planning to do something, we are working to do something about. It's not either or. You should have both. And there are people who, every society they have both. But in our own case, we have focused too much on degrees to our own detriment, to the detriment of the need of the present for our development as a country. So right now, we have brought it to the fore as a focus area for our education system. In the days and weeks to come, you will see us, you will hear us roll out our plans for it. And the plan is we want to bring skills into our education sector right from primary school. Sometimes people at that level don't know anything about skill. Nothing is further from the truth than that. Because even at home, we will go to buy toys for our children. What do? They piece it together and try to bring it together. Now, there is no better means of learning than learning by doing. And so we want to bring that into primary school, basic education, and then the secondary school education as well. So that at every level, there's a skill set which you can get for, provide for every level of education. And so we are embarking on what we call skilling our education system. This is one of the major planks of reforms that we are bringing to the education. So that by the time we are through with our term, we will have brought out that level of skill to the system. And then, of course, strengthen other institutions which are supposed to provide skill, which are supposed to provide skilled manpower, people who will graduate and have particular skills, particular trades and vocations. So it's something that is very, very important for us. We are not copying anybody's model. Yeah. You know, there are a lot of international programs which we attend. What else? It was not even UAE. It was Qatar that I went there as a follow-up to the visit of Mr. President. And of course, we met some of the leaderships, the Minister of Education, and some people who are into supporting education system generally. You know, like the art of school, which we have now, which we are another area of focus for us. So they are helping us. They want to bring in resources to help us with our training our people, skilling our people, you know, and, who are out of school. So nobody is copying education system from anywhere. I don't know the logistics, the reason that led to all this. The only thing I can say for now is that I'll find out, and then we have to make amends, then we can now do the right thing and ensure that maybe the next postings, their logistics not being overstretched, they can post people closer to where they are. I am a reformist. That's my job. I like turning things around. And I know education is a place that requires a lot of reform, and our hands are on it. What we intend to deliver to Nigeria, first of all, by the time we are through, we want Nigerians to be able to know first how many people are in schools in Nigeria. We don't have that data. From primary, secondary school, if you ask now, if I ask if you can, nobody can tell you. Yeah, and it's not good for planning. Teachers, how many teachers do we have in Nigeria? Nobody can tell you. It's not good for planning. How many schools in Nigeria? UBEC can give you some information. Now, it's not even the data about the number. No, it's not a number. It's for planning. You should be able to know, for instance, how many girls are there in secondary school, how many boys are there. These girls, are they doing well in school? What are their areas of strength? These boys and girls, are they in school or they are not in school? Are they learning well or they are not learning well? You know, if they are not learning well, is it the whole country or particular areas of the country? You can now move in, you know, into all these specific areas and intervene. This is the whole essence of having data. And then your teachers too. When you know your teachers, you'll be able to know the ratio, teachers ratio. Where there are shortages, you will know. Where the teachers are receiving good training, you will know. Whether they are not trained, you will know. The data will also give us information on facility and infrastructure in every school, right through the whole country. So you can advise state governors, hey, Mr. Governor, sir, these schools, this is the furniture, this is the situation there. Please attend to them. You know, so that you can now raise the profile of the school and the quality of learning in these places. and therefore it will give you a quality education. That is the whole essence. This is one thing that we want to achieve for this government. Then secondly, as I said earlier on, skilling our education is one major area that we are going to focus on. So that from primary school up to university level, we want to see skills in our education system. So by the time somebody graduates, even from senior secondary school, he should have one skill or the other. So that if he doesn't proceed with his further education, he will have something to be able to do. Other countries have done it, so why can't we? Instead of having so many young boys and girls just roaming the street all over the place, they don't have anything to do. There are a lot of skills around, so we are already identifying and even setting up some of them in our technical colleges, strengthening our polytechnics. We are going to strengthen them so that we can have more students trained in various skills in the education sector. And that's the second. And then the third one is the out of school. We have millions and millions of our people out there who are out of school. They have no education, no training, no employment. So part of what Mr. President has directed we do is that we give them, those of them who cannot go back to formal education, we give them some skills so that they can they are empowered, and have a meaningful livelihood. The younger ones who can go back to school, brush them up and then send them back to school. So that's part of what we do. Well, this current student loan is a baby of Mr. President. He's very passionate about it. He doesn't want to see any Nigerian failing to go to school because of money. Whether now it is university or polytechnics, he has expanded it. And the simple thing is that it will be rolled out very soon. Very, very soon. All the arrangements are in place for it. It will be accessible to every Nigerian student who is in the university and who is in the polytechnic, so that they can finance their education there. In terms of, anyway, tuition is free anyway, so there's no tuition, but essentially about other costs of staying in the educational system. My name is Tahir Maman, Professor Tahir Maman. I'm a professor of law, senior advocate of Nigeria. I spent about 18-19 years in the university teaching, and then I was a pioneer deputy DG of the Nigerian Law School when it was set up in Kano 2001. 3 campuses were set up at that time, so I headed one of them as a pioneer head. 4 years later, I became overall head of the overall law school as the DG. I was a DG for 8 years before I retired, and then I went into a bit of politics. Not a bit of it actually. Yeah, because I contested for governorship of my state. I wasn't successful. And also, the Senate position too, I tried, but we were blocked from participating, unfortunately. And then I was invited by the proprietor of Blaise to come and help him with Blaise University. So I was vice chancellor for 7 years of Blaise University. And it's from there that Mr. President found me suitable to work with him, in the education sector. And I'm from Adamawa State. So that's it about me.